Kolina, welcome to Who Let Me Do This. I'm so excited you're here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored.
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, today we have Kolina Cicero.
Nope.
Cicero.
Cicero,
Guys,
like the thinker and this big, very famous street in Chicago.
Okay, neither of those things are going to help me remember your last name.
Cicero. I'll say it.
Okay.
Why don't you say, hi, what's your name?
Hi, Kolina. Welcome to the Who Let Me Do This podcast. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kolina Cicero. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
I'm thrilled to be here.
So excited that you're here. Okay, so I think it'd be really fun for the listeners to hear about how we met, because I think it is a really prime example. First of all, I think it's so hard as an adult to meet friends, especially after you've had kids, right? It's so isolating to have kids, and it's so hard to figure out, like, if someone wants to be your friend or if they don't want to be your friend, is it a surface level friendship or not? And you and I met when our daughters were in preschool together. And I love this story because I met you the day we went in to visit Miss Sue's class. And I remember the moment. And you had your second with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the baby because baby boy had just been born. And so we already had so much in common. And you came in and you just like walked in with these like super confident vibes. And your daughter has that same swagger about her, just like so cool, but like effortlessly cool. And I just remember looking at you and being like, I want to be her friend. And having this moment of, but does she want to be my friend? And does she need any more friends? And I feel like I was like so in my head about that. And so I like inched over to you and said hi and introduced myself and tried to like make it casual of, hey, yeah, looks like our daughters are going to go to school together. Like, should we be best friends? You know, and you didn't bite.
It's so funny to hear you say this because I saw you on that first day and thought you were so cool. I was like, she's so cute. You remind me of my best friend with the freckles and the scratchy voice. And I'm like, just feel familiar in your orbit. It feels comfortable to me. And I really want to be your friend too.
I know, which is so dumb. Okay, so then for everyone listening, we did not hit it off. And we did not hit it off. Like, we were very polite to each other. We would see each other at school events, and I really was trying to force our daughters to be friends because I thought like that was my big in with you of like, if they're really good friends, she'll have no choice but to realize like how hilarious and like fun I am, and then be like, let's be best friends. So I tried that, and they were friends, and they still are friends, but it didn't go how I expected.
Lucy's birthday.
Yes. Okay, that's the other like best story is the girls went to school together, and so it's after preschool. So remember, our daughters are like 4 or 5 at this point, not necessarily like building the deepest of friendships. And Lucy at her 5th birthday party, so right before kindergarten, I scrounge up Kolina's Facebook page and I think send you a Facebook message letting you know that Lucy was having a birthday party and I'd really love for Frankie to come. And what do you frickin' respond?
I said, well, I'm in South Africa on a safari right now. We're on a little lunch break at a restaurant. I have Wi-Fi for the first time in 5 hours. And but Doug will take them.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, likely story. This is how bad you don't want to be my friend. You're lying about being in South Africa of all places. So first of all, I thought you were lying. Second of all, and I was like, if this is true, oh fuck. Like, you are so much cooler than I even gave you credit for in the beginning. So then your daughter comes to my daughter's birthday party with your husband, who is also a lovely human being. And then nothing. It was dormant. Okay, so then how we ended up actually like really connecting was I was at my neighbor's Halloween party, and Kolina was also at this Halloween party. And you walk up to me.
You're in a banana suit.
I was
Jack Skellington.
Yes, I know. And the listeners know about the banana suit. My favorite Halloween costume that I've worn. This was the 10th year anniversary of the banana suit. I'm going to talk about it in my 90s nostalgia about Halloween episode. So anyways, yeah, you're Jack Skellington. You come up pretty unrecognizable.
Yeah, I was like full blown makeup.
You had those like long finger things on, and you're like, hey. And so we start talking and start having a couple of drinks and like dancing, and all of a sudden it's like love affair.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think in that moment that night, one of us was like, God, I really want to be friends with you. And the other person was like, me too. And it was just this moment of so wonderful, so beautiful, but also so fucking annoying.
So annoying.
Because we lost years of friendship.
Yep.
And then it was like we hung out again after Halloween, and it's just been like we've known each other forever and you've become like one of my closest friends. And so I'm like so happy to have you on here. And a PSA for everyone, not only give the fucking compliment, but if you like someone and you want to be their friend, tell them.
Yes. Amen.
Amen. Okay. So, Cokes, I'm the only one who calls you that.
Yeah. No one else is allowed, but
I love it.
I love Coke so much. It's so cute.
I know. It's so cute. Okay. I want to hear everything about you as a kid. Like, tell me about Kolina growing up and where you grew up, what it was like growing up, what shaped you.
My story is interesting. It's not unique necessarily, but I grew up with a single mom. I have a little brother who's 5 years younger than me, and he was born very ill. He was born with it's called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. He was born with half of a heart. The left side of his heart was underdeveloped. So he was just like ill. We were in children's hospital like all the time for 2 years. And then when he was, I forget how old he was. He was like 1 or 2. He did this really serious open heart surgery. And then he had a seizure during the surgery and then was in a coma for 30 days after that. And like, we didn't know if he was going to live. I remember sitting on my grandpa's lap, like the whole family came in before his surgery to like say goodbye to him. It was crazy. It was nuts. I was 7. I was like 6 or 7 years old, saying kind of like potentially goodbye to my brother.
Yeah.
And then he ended up living. He's still alive. He's like a miracle baby is what Children's Hospital called him back then, 35 years ago.
Oh my God.
So it was an interesting upbringing. He is my half brother. But so I was raised, just my mom and me for a couple of years. Then my mom remarried and they had my brother. And then, it was a very close family situation. It was like just my mom, my brother, and me. And we lived in these small places. And it was very close and very loving. And we're still the same way. I have a great relationship with my mom. My brother and I are, 2 people could not be more opposite. But we love each other. It's great. As it pertains to who I am today, it's interesting that I have such a profound love and obsession with reading and writing because I didn't grow up with someone modeling that for me.
Okay.
I don't remember my mom ever reading. Writing, definitely not. But my mom always says that I was determined to teach myself how to read before kindergarten, and I did. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know how I did it. Of course, she helped me, but I just really wanted to. I think maybe it was like not loneliness. I didn't have a sad childhood by any means, but I think I had to like preoccupy myself when my brother was sick. Like all that time we were in the hospital for like 2 years. So I think I just really took to stories. And then once I got a little older, like 7 or 8, when I was able to read chapter books, I was obsessed with Babysitter's Club.
So good. So good.
Boxcar Children.
Love it.
I have these very vivid memories of being really young and reading those stories. And I loved it. Loved them. And it just has never died.
Okay. I love that. Wait. So you already talked about this a little bit. Like your mom didn't love reading. And so you were using these stories to like not escape, right? But it was like entertainment.
Entertainment. Yes. Entertainment. Something to do.
Okay.
I mean, I was being shipped between, it made it sound like I had this horrible upbringing. I didn't.
You grew up in the 90s. That's what it is. You grew up in the 90s and we're just, anyone who tells their story or like their childhood of the 90s, like today, people would be like, oh, the horror. But like same thing. Like when I talk about my childhood, people are like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, no, I love my parents. I'm very close with them.
Yeah.
But it does, when you like reverberate it out, it's like, oh, fuck, that was like kind of screwed up.
Yeah, totally. Like I was just about to say, like I was being shipped between my mom's house and my stepdad's house, who I love, who loves my children. Like I talk to him still, like we're close, but I just have these memories of like having to go to his house for the weekend. It was a big deal. Like I didn't want to leave mom.
Yeah.
And I would bring books. And that I remember specifically like doing a lot of reading there. But I think it was number one for sure entertainment.
Yeah.
And then maybe escapism, but I obviously didn't know that then.
Yeah. Okay, so then did you like grow up like, was there a point where you were like, I want to be a writer? I mean, you're a published author.
So yes. Well, okay. I don't remember ever not wanting to be a writer or an
Okay.
author. So I have this thing. I love to reference it. I was going to bring a photo of it today, but I forgot. It's a list of goals I wrote when I was 8 years old and at the beginning of second grade. And it said, goal number 1 was like, I want to publish 6 books. Publish, Publish. I want to publish 6 books. Goal 2, I want to write 20 books. It was like, I was onto something. I knew how hard the publishing industry was.
I was going to say, like, wise beyond your years.
Very wise. Write, and I want to write 20 books was spelled RIGHT. And then goal number 3, I want to get better at writing. RIGHTING. So I've known since like 8. I mean, and I must have known before then. It's just, there was never a question about what I was going to do. I also, going back to the single momhood, like I used to write these letters to my dad, who I actually have a good relationship with now, but for a long time I didn't. Mm-hmm. And growing up, I mean, he lived in a different state. And I didn't know why, of course. I was like 7. You know, you don't know all this kind of stuff. And I would write these letters of things that I would say to him if I had the balls to say them to him. And so I would write all the time. It was very cathartic.
Yeah.
Always was journaling. But also I was writing these letters, folding them up and putting them inside of an envelope and then pretending I was going to send it. And I never sent any of them. I sent a couple. I have some, yeah.
God, that is so interesting.
I would write poems. I'm definitely not a poet, but I was just constantly writing about my difficulties, just like my non-comprehension of what my life
happening.
was.
I mean, you're processing, right? Like people do it in all different ways. And like, that's amazing that at whatever 7 years old, 8 years old, you already were like processing through that. So then like, as you go through school, right? So how did that show up in your schooling? And then when you went to college, were you like, hi, I'm in college and I'm here to be a writer? Like, did you do a journalism degree?
I did.
Okay.
Classic. In high school, I had a teacher who I really liked and respected. And one day I took a test, got a bad score on it. She's like, Kolina, here's the thing. You're not great at taking tests. Mm-hmm. You're really good at writing and you're not good at the other things. I'm like, okay, that's good to know, I guess. Yeah. So like I did not get a good score on my ACT or SAT. What do we do? ACTs. Yeah. I did not get, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that great. Were I able to write essays about it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have done a really good job. But number one, for me, that has been a constant problem in my life is retention. Like retaining facts is not my specialty.
I know, and then like pop out a couple kids and then tell me how that retention is.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was already apparently bad at it in high school. So I knew early on. Oh, I remember very specifically in middle school, we were given an assignment for, I think it was English class. We were given an assignment. This is a whack attack assignment. We were supposed to write a pretend eulogy about someone. And I wrote it about my mom. And then I got up and read it because we were supposed to. It was a homework assignment. It wasn't like you sit in class and write it and then perform it or whatever, or read it. But I brought mine back into school and then they asked me to read it. And so I got up like in front of this classroom behind a podium and I read my eulogy. And I like kind of was emotional, I think, because I think it was hard for me to read it or something. And
understandable.
Then the teacher came up to me afterwards and she whispered, she's like, did your mom really die? And I was like, no, I just did the assignment. Like I was literally doing what you asked me to do, but it was like heartfelt and believable, I guess. And it made people emotional. And I think I knew from a young age that with my words, my written words, very specifically, I could evoke emotion. Yeah. And that's really powerful when you realize that.
Oh my God, I love that. It's so cool. Okay. Kolina graduates college.
Yeah. I first went to Arizona State University my freshman year of college.
What was that like?
Wild. Just absolutely wild. It was so fun. But I moved back, so journalism. Then I transferred to the University of Minnesota. Yeah. And also journalism, minor in Italian studies. Okay. Fell in love with Italy in high school. My parents took me to Italy in high school and it was like
amazing.
Changed my life. So then I started studying Italian in undergrad. Yeah.
Okay. So you graduate with a journalism degree and like, what's your plan? Okay.
Well, I graduated in 2008. I don't know if you know about that year, but it wasn't a good one. Jobs weren't all that easy to come by. And I found myself working at National Camera Exchange in customer service because I liked photography. I remember being like, what am I going to do right now? Like, where are the jobs? Like, what can I possibly do? And so I did that job for a little bit, but then I started to get antsy and I was like, I think I'm going to find a way to go back to Italy. And I saw this acquaintance that I had from, I don't even know how I knew him. I just saw on social media because social media was new back then.
Like
Way back
where you had to be
then.
like 18 to have a Facebook.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
to like show your college email address or whatever.
I remember specifically freshman year of college was when the public was allowed to get Facebook.
That's wild.
I ended up applying to grad school for Middlebury College for an Italian program and got in miraculously because my Italian proficiency, I failed. Oh, shocker. I should have known this. Like, this is like a spoiler alert when my middle school or my high school teacher told me I'm not good at taking tests. I failed my Italian proficiency exam. However, the director of the school called me and he started speaking to me in Italian. We had to switch over to English because it was like I was supposed to be taking class in Italian.
Yeah.
Like, you needed to be fairly proficient.
Okay.
And he called me. We had to switch over to English eventually. And then he was like, you failed your exam, but your letters of recommendation and your essay were really good. And I want to give you a chance. And I was like, thank you so much. I'll make you proud. And so I arrived at this program. We did a 6-week intensive immersion program in Middlebury, Vermont. I lived in these dorms. We only spoke Italian, like inside our dorms even. We only ate with the Italian group. We did, like everything we did. When we went to TJ Maxx, we were like supposed to be speaking Italian. I remember going out like the second or third night, sneaking out, calling my mom like in the woods. I was getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. I was like, Mom, I can't do this. Like I have to come home. It was so hard and so scary. But I passed. And like when I showed up, I had the worst Italian of anyone in my group. We were like a small group, 25 or 30 people. And by the end of the year-long program, I was very much like the most improved. I still wasn't the best, but like I
didn't know you were fluent in Italian.
Don't ask me to say anything because I won't.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Okay, but then so you get this. So what did that do for your career? So you go.
You mean my master's in Italian linguistics?
Yeah, it feels like we should apply it.
Like, are you really asking how I got a job with that?
Why haven't we written more Italian books?
Like I don't know. Actually, it did get me a job because after grad school, I interned at Minneapolis St. Paul magazine. As a fact checker, and then
in Italian,
yeah, in their Italian, the Italian
section of the Minneapolis St. Paul magazine.
Yes, but my next job out of that, my first real job, I was an assistant to like an agent, not a literary agent, but like a person. Oh God, I gotta come up with a name. An agent's assistant was my title.
Okay,
he was an agent for like television personalities. And he hired me, or he said the thing that stood out the most was my degree in Italian because I spent the year in Italy. And he thought that was cool. He thought that was like, well, maybe not the most practical degree, but what a cool experience.
Yeah,
and
life experience.
Aside from, getting married and having my kids, that was the best year ever.
Oh,
like I lived in Florence for a year. It was everything.
The Duomo.
Yes, it was amazing.
Been there.
So good.
So good.
Pretty. So not the most, useful degree in the world, but do I love it? Yeah.
Okay. So your first job was what?
Agent's assistant.
Yes. Okay. And then like walk us through like what your careers look like and then let me know or like help me understand like when you decided to have kids.
Okay. So my career, it's fairly simple. So that first job, agent's assistant, I was starting to do like social media for some clients and for like my boss's clients. That was just my job. I was like doing social media posts. And then I did that for, I don't know how long, a year maybe. But then in 2011, I ended up launching my own business doing like social media is how it started.
Okay.
And then it broadened to all sorts of content creation and, like newsletters, web copy, branding, all that kind of stuff. So I did that for years. And then I had met my husband in college. We were next door neighbors. He and his brother lived next door. And we were friends, but I was dating someone else. So we reconnected later and we dated so now I'm rewinding, but we dated right after college.
Okay.
We started dating actually right when I went to grad school. But he's in the wine industry. So when we started dating, I had these plans to go to Italy for grad school, and he had these plans to go work a wine harvest in New Zealand. So we did both. But before I went to Italy, I went to New Zealand because he was there over the summer. I went there over the summer for 3 weeks. I stayed with him in this tiny little place, like a shack, for a few days. And then we rented a camper van and we drove all over the South Island of New Zealand for 2 weeks.
And then you were like, this is it.
This is it. And then
I'm in love.
Yeah. And then I went to Italy, and then he moved to Italy for like 3 months, but he stayed with me for like a few weeks. But then he like worked on a farm and he was just like dicking around everywhere else. So we were like in Italy together, but separate. So he has his own love for Italy, which is really cool.
Oh my gosh.
And then after my grad school program ended, I came home. We moved into an apartment together and then swiftly broke up.
What?
Yeah. And then we lived together for a little while, but it was just like this.
You broke up and continued to live together.
Yeah, for a little bit. We like went to happy hour together. We like hung out with people together. Because it was just very much like I had just had this amazing time in Italy, and he had this amazing time doing his.
And then
New
you're like
Zealand
living
thing.
in an apartment
Like,
in Minneapolis.
This sucks.
Yeah.
This is so boring.
Yeah.
We broke up, and then we had stayed broken up for 4 years. And then I chased after him.
I mean, Dougie, I get it.
In 2015, we rekindled our relationship. I drove out to Madison, Wisconsin, where he was living, and to see if it would work. And that, like, the night I had showed up, we were like, if we're going to date, we're just going to get married and like,
Let's just do this
right away. So we got married New Year's Eve of 2016.
After dating for how long? It's second time.
Less than a year. Well, we were engaged real quick, like 3 months after getting back, because we were like, we
knew each other. Yeah, no, totally. I love this. I like love a love story. Keep going.
We rekindled our relationship, got married right away. I was pregnant 2 months later.
Okay.
Getting pregnant the first time was like super easy.
Okay.
Right. So we just knew. It was like before we got back together, we were like, do you want to get married? Yes. Do you want to have kids? Yes. Okay, let's do it then. You know, it was like.
Yeah. Okay, so when you and Doug got married, were you guys both working full time?
Mm-hmm.
In what jobs? Was he doing the wine stuff already?
He was in wine. Yep. Wine sales. So he had moved from harvest stuff where he like physically made the wine to selling it, which is a more practical way of dealing with wine, because with harvest, you know, it's like 3 months at a time.
We also live in Minnesota. There's not a lot of wine harvesting happening.
There's not. But it was cool because it afforded him the ability to travel to all different places.
Yeah.
Because harvests happen at different times of the year, different places.
That's cool.
And I was working full time as boss lady. My business was hopping. I mean, I was doing social media and I had so many clients. I think that was like the most successful I've ever been, was like right when Doug and I got married, and then it all went downhill. It did because I had kids.
No coincidence. Okay, so you have a child. You have Francesca, and your business is still going.
My business is still going, but it is confusing because so I launched my business in 2011. My first 2 clients started a business at the same time.
Yes.
I started working with them, and I worked alongside them for like 6 years.
Okay.
And then
they bring you in.
Then they bring me on, yes, as an employee. And then I had to kind of close down my business a little bit. I had to just only work with a couple of like approved clients.
Okay.
So that I could work full time with this organization. And it was great. Loved it. And then I had Frankie, and they had to create a maternity leave policy for me, which they did, when it was great. And then after having Frankie, I went back to work part-time. So I was working full-time.
Okay.
After having Frankie, I was able to go. So this organization was very small, very like all hands on deck kind of a thing. Very we were family.
Yeah.
And I was able to go back 3 days a week and still do, you know, the same amount of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was able to do my job in 3 days, and I was still, you know, still got paid well, and was able to be home with my first child, which was
So great. I want to dig into that a little bit. Like one thing I've talked about on the podcast is like I had a child, and I was like, I would never stay home with them. And like when I had Lucy, because I think being a stay-at-home mom is the hardest thing in the world. I think it's a way harder job than any corporate job. But I'm curious, like did you go into having Frankie knowing that you wanted to stay home?
No, I never wanted to stay home. I was never the person who was like, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom someday, ever.
Mm-hmm.
And staying home with Frankie a couple days a week didn't feel like being a stay-at-home mom. It was like I was with her and then we would go to like story time. And then, if it was summer, we'd be with my girlfriends who were teachers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't this crazy, crazy thing. My real stay-at-momhood happened after I had my second child.
Okay, wait. So let's not skip too forward. So you were staying home with Frankie, you were part-time, and then you had Enzo.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were still part-time when you had Enzo.
I was still part-time when I had Enzo. And why does that sound weird? Why do I think I wasn't full-time when I had Enzo? But I'm just having a weird memory. I was part-time when I had him. And then...
So why did you end up staying home full-time? Just because cost of daycare?
Well, it's a great question. So I was making good money.
Yeah.
When I had my son in August of 2020, obviously I was home with him for I had maternity leave again.
Mm-hmm.
And then in November of 2020, 2 weeks before my maternity leave was due to be up, and just 6 months shy of my 10-year anniversary with this organization, I got laid off during COVID, November 2020. I got laid off. And I was like postpartum, and it was really weird. But it was COVID, and it was really scary then. So I was like, okay, if I get laid off, I mean, this is early still, right? Like this is the first year.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if I'm getting laid off right now, I'm just talking about in my head when I had this conversation with my boss. I was like, well, I can get unemployment, right? Like, that's a thing that people get that I've never thought about in my life. And so I was able to collect unemployment. And then due to COVID, I was able to extend my unemployment. So I got unemployment for a very long time. And I was able to keep my 3-month-old and my 3-year-old home safe.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a really nice thing then for that time. But 5 years later, almost 6 years later, 5 years later, I'm still dealing with the ramifications of staying home.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
It is.
And in that time, right? So like you got laid off and it was 2020 and you're like, well, I'm not going to send my kids to a new daycare. I don't even really want to send my kids to daycare because we don't know what's happening in the world.
Yeah. I'm getting paid a lot more money than I was in my salaried job.
Yes. With like the
With
COVID benefits.
Yes.
1,000%. And so then was there ever a point though, like when Enzo was a year or like 2 years where you're like, maybe I'll go back? Or at that point, did you guys just kind of have a good thing going?
Well, the great thing about my job was that I was able to go back, not my job that I got laid off from, but my business was, I was
so
able
you reopened the business.
Yep. So in 2020, I started working with a nonprofit that I still work up today. It's called Power of Perception. I do grant writing for it, which is why I went to South Africa. Side note. Full circle. Full circle. So yeah, I started at some point, I think Enzo was like a year when I started feeling like I was really ready to go back to work. And so I picked up a few clients.
Yeah.
And now when I was picking up those clients, people were like, well, can't you just get more clients? And I asked the same question you get asked. It was like, how do you just get clients?
And
when you've been out, I've been out of the industry. Like I was forced, I signed it, I agreed to it, but I was like forced to close most of my business while becoming an employee at this organization. And so
which was the right decision for you in that moment and for your family.
Yeah, absolutely. But then, years later when I got laid off, I was like, well, cool. Love that you made me close my business because now and I didn't close it all the way. I still had, like a client or relationships, but then relaunching it was so hard. I was never
it's 10
able
years
to do
later.
it.
So social media is a completely different beast.
And I don't even want to do that. Like we were talking prior to recording, like I'm not interested in some of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I'm very, very neurotic about how I spend my time.
Yeah.
I've been habit tracking for like 6 years. It's crazy. I'm just like, I don't like to see that I'm spending time on social media or doing something that doesn't benefit me or move me toward my goals. And I have my goal of being a novelist, write 20 books and publish 6. I would like to change that, whatever quotient. But writing books is not something that you can just do real quick and easy. It's like the most laborious, time-consuming, brain power zapping job. aside from being a stay-at-home mom.
Okay, wait. So let's pivot into that. Writing a book. You want to be a novelist.
Yeah.
So before we go deep into the novel and like what that process looks like, you did write a children's book.
I did. I wrote, so when Frankie was little, I don't even know where my children's book came from. It was so weird. I was just reading so many children's books and like the story just came to me. I had a couple of girlfriends over for wine, 2 girls from work over for wine. And we did this like little creative writing exercise and I just wrote the story. And then I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
And so I pursued publishing.
Did you self-publish that?
I indie published it, which so I'm not the publisher, but I wanted to go the traditional route, which was like get an agent and then the agent sells it to the publishing house. Well, I kind of wanted that, but I never dreamt of being a children's book author. Like that wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
When I realized I liked my story, I was like, I'd love to publish it. That would be cool. Like it'd be fun. And I got to dedicate it to Francesca. Like that's cool.
I know. It's really cool.
And everyone's like, do you have a second children's book? You have a second child. I'm like, sorry, it
hasn't come to me yet.
It's not, I guess I need another wine night. I don't know.
I can arrange that.
I just like, it was such a cool experience. Oh, so no, I didn't go that route. I didn't want to sit and wait for to find an agent and then wait for the publishing process. So I just did it. I interviewed with a couple of indie publishers here in the Twin Cities, but independent publishers. You pay them and they do everything. Like they consult, edit, design, help you find your illustrator.
Cool.
Like, do the interior, do the proofreading.
Yeah.
You pay for that, but you pay a lot of money for that. Like
it's a good book.
A lot of money. But it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, really cool. Okay, so then you did decide to go to the agent route.
I decided to go the agent
route. Not with the children's book, but like for the novel.
For the novel. So
what do you even do? Like, how do you find, do you just Google like how to find an agent or like agents near me?
No.
Like when you're looking for like a taco place, like it's like you go on Yelp and it's like tacos near 55419.
Do you think there are a lot of literary agents living in Minneapolis, Minnesota?
I don't know. This is not my world.
No, you're right. Right. They're like in New York.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like on the coasts.
Okay.
Mostly New York. But I mean, there are some literary agents here. But in 2018, 2017 is when my daughter was born. And that's around the time I wrote Rosie and the Hobby Farm.
Yep.
And then I also signed up for a writing class at the Loft Literary Center, which is in Minneapolis, downtown. A gem. If any writers listening, like if you don't know the Loft Literary Center, you need to. Okay. It's amazing. It's off of Washington Avenue. It's the best. Like it's nationally known. It's really cool that it's here.
Mm-hmm.
I signed up for an advanced writing shop. an advanced fiction writing workshop. An advanced fiction writing workshop. And I needed to submit a short story in order to be a part of this because we workshopped it.
Yeah.
And so I just wrote a story. I wrote another story. And then it was a 12-week-long class, and we workshopped each other's stories. And my teacher, who she's still my teacher, she said, I want to see this as a novel. And then she cursed me because now I'm like, I've been working on it ever since. No, I finished that novel. I turned it into a novel. I finished it. I ended up going also, I love taking classes. That's something I love school and I love taking classes. In 2022, I went to the Iowa Writers Workshop for a summer graduate program. And I did another fiction workshop. And I brought the same story. And I just worked really hard on it. After going to Iowa, I decided to change the tense of my entire 100,000 word novel. And that was an entire process. And in doing so, I cut like 30,000 words. It's just this whole thing. But I made it really, I cleaned it up. I made it really tight. And then I was ready to find a literary agent. I thought you need to have a very clean novel in order to get an agent. And I was listening to a podcast that gave me so much information. There's like, if you're not in the writing community, it probably sounds crazy, but if you are in it, like there's so much. People like sell products to help you get an agent. You know, like it's such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many like classes and query letter packages, all those things. And I didn't do any of them, but like there's just so much out there. So I spent 9 months querying literary agents, which means I wrote this query letter explaining, you know, my novel, what happens, who I am, how many words my novel is, what the title is, where I live, why I'm sending it to this agent. And 9 months of just like constant rejection, like constant.
Like how many people do you think you reached out to?
95. I know that
95 people.
Yeah. But like 60 of them didn't even respond, which it's like very much like the job market right now. But queried all these agents. And then it was this time, the holiday season in 2023, when I got my first agent offer. So that means so in the agent querying world, it's like if an agent is kind of like if your query letter interests them, and then you also send the first 5 pages or 10 pages, if that interests them, then they respond and they say, can I have a partial manuscript or a full manuscript? And then that's like, ooh, time to party. Then after that, they still need to make an offer to you, like offer of representation. They don't give you any money. I don't give them any money.
Okay.
I was given an offer of representation because of that. So like we had the Zoom call because she offered representation. I was then able to go to all the other agents that were still reading my manuscript and be like, hey, I have an offer on the table. Let me, you know,
first like best and final.
Yeah. Well, yes, without the money, but yes. And so I had a timeline that I figured out with the first agent. And so then another agent offered representation, and she's like this badass. She's the vice president of her agency out in Brooklyn. She's been an agent for 20 years. She's amazing. I could not believe that she wanted me. Like I still don't believe that she's my agent. It's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers that she's my agent. She has this like really popular newsletter, and that's how I knew about her. And there are all of these software programs to find, like there are ways to find agents. You're not just like agents near me, although I'm sure I did that too.
Yeah. Okay. So you find this badass agent in New York City. Mm-hmm. You give her your book that you've written, and then she's shopping it to publishing.
Nope. So first she decides to offer me representation. Yeah. So she reads it. She's like, I love it. I want to represent you. Agents don't get paid until you get paid. So she's not going to get paid until we sell any of my books. Okay. So before we went out to shop it, we had to make edits. Not a ton. But once we had it ready, then she made a list of, you know, however many editors at publishing houses that she wanted to send it to. We went through this whole process. The book never sold. Okay. But while I was querying literary agents, I started working on a second novel. Mm-hmm. And so when the book didn't sell, it wasn't as crushing as I thought it was going to be. I was just like, okay, well, I have another project.
And did your agent say like, that's pretty normal?
It's so normal. Okay. Most books, it's so normal. Yeah. Like you hear of books being sold.
No one's an overnight success.
No, like so many of your favorite books, it's like it might be the author's debut novel. It's like the first novel they published. Yeah. But it is almost certainly not their first novel they wrote. Yeah. It's so common to die unpublished. Die on submission is what it's called. A terrible term. So I started working on a second novel. Before that, it was nice to have something to focus my time. And like I was getting up at 5 a.m. to write because I have 2 kids. Yeah.
Don't forget, 2 young kids under 10.
And like trying to, you know,
have your business.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
be a daughter, be a friend, be a wife.
Yeah. All of those things.
Yeah. Trying to hold it fucking together.
Together. Yeah. And then at some point I decided I got this new idea in my head, which is your favorite book, which is not written yet, but I've got 50,000 words. So I abandoned my second novel and I am now writing my third novel. And I'm really excited about it. My agent's excited about it. My friends, namely you, are excited about it. My husband's excited about it. Now I just need to, I've taken a little bit, like I haven't written it for like 5 days. I'm not taking a break. It's just been the holidays.
What does the writing process look like?
Okay, so a lot of people are like, do you need an hour to write? 2 hours?
Do you like
hours?
candles? Do you have incense?
No, I can't. I don't have that privilege because I have 2 young kids. Like I do
write, every mom ever. Like we don't even have that privilege when we poop, much less when we're writing a novel.
Exactly. It's like sure, it would be great if I had all that time and I could light candles and like have a seance before. But it's like, the truth is that I have to be able to write in 15-minute spurts, you know?
That's wild.
I know. It's like not ideal.
Yeah.
Sweating.
That's okay.
God, these lights.
It's hard in the showbiz, baby.
Yeah, I know. It's just like,
Okay, so you're writing, and then like, does your agent give you a like, hey, Kolina, like we really want it to be done by
Nope.
this time? It's just
Nope.
like whenever it's done, it's done.
and I like to give
Because
myself
in the
deadlines.
movies, right? In the movies, they're like, where's the pages?
Yeah.
Where's the pages?
Because that's editor. So it's different. Don't expect people
Okay.
to know the different terminology. But no, it's amazing that I have this agent who I can be like, hey, what do you think of this? Here's
Yeah.
my premise. What do you think? And she's like, yes. And then I send her my pages, and you know, she had really, really insightful information for me about like the first several chapters.
Yeah.
And so it's really great. One day when I sell my book, I will have an editor being like, where are them pages at?
Okay, but your pages will be done.
They'll be done. Yeah, because I'm definitely not going to miss deadlines.
God, no.
God, no. I can't even be like late to an interview with my friend. I was like 8 minutes early and it was like, okay, thank God
I know.
I
No.
made it here on time.
I know. I was so happy. Okay, how does one become an agent? Did you ever think about being an agent?
No.
Is it a different skill set?
Yeah. Yeah. You have to pitch ideas. You have to be like kind of bullish. Like, I'm not agent material.
Okay.
I'm
But are
writer
agents,
material.
are most agents people who were writers and they become an agent?
I think a lot are. My agent is. She's
Okay.
a writer too.
Does she have a published book?
Mm-hmm.
Novel?
Not a novel. She's working on a novel. She just published.
Can she agent her own book?
No, she has an
Oh.
agent. She has her own agent.
Okay. This is so interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't remember my other questions. Okay, let's talk about bringing back into the workplace. We're in the thick of it right now.
Oh my God. So I got laid off 5 years ago and I'm still dealing with that now. So like I said, I mean, part of it is like I was complacent because I will admit that because it was COVID and I was receiving a lot of money with unemployment.
But so many people didn't work in 2020.
So I also didn't. And then I tried, like I said, once I was ready, I started to like try and build my business back up. And then, you know, it was hard. And then, but I still kept trying. And like my husband is employed, but we live very modestly.
Mhm.
You know, we're not, I feel like I'm that statistic of that woman who gets behind in her career because she's home with the kids, whether she chose to be or not. In my case, I didn't choose to be.
Mhm.
And then, or I didn't at first.
Mhm.
I guess I chose to remain home, right? Again, because I was getting paid
Yeah.
a lot of money. Well,
Yeah.
for me, a lot of money by the government to stay home. And it was COVID. So I was like,
But
yeah,
that only
this is
happened
great.
for like a year or two.
It was a year.
Okay.
So then I started to build up my business. But with 2 kids at home with me, like my daughter was in preschool, but that didn't cost a lot of money. You know, her like
Yeah.
3 hours a morning or whatever, 2.5 hours a morning for Miss Sue's class.
Mhm.
Frankie took the bus then. She was 4 years old and she took the bus.
So did Lucy.
This is so wild. Oh yeah, they were the same bus.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I can't believe we
know.
don't talk about that. I was never able to, or I didn't bring my business up to the point where it enabled me to get childcare.
Yeah.
It was never justifiable to get childcare.
Yeah.
It was just like, I'd be breaking even. Childcare is so expensive.
It's so
obviously.
expensive.
With 2 young kids, it's like, oh my God. So it just never made enough sense.
Yeah.
And so I just kept staying home. I just kept picking up clients when I could.
Yeah.
Sometimes I had a lot. Sometimes I didn't have enough time to do it. And I would have to like be up
Because you
early.
also have your fucking kids home.
I have my kids home. I also have my novel. I also have a newsletter that I write weekly. And I've been doing that for 2 years. I have so many demands on my time, like
Yeah.
most of them self-imposed, aside from my children. Kind of those are self-imposed.
Those are self-imposed.
Like I did it to myself. It's like, and so this fall, my kids both went to school full time.
Yeah.
I said went in past tense because it's Christmas break.
Yes.
It's winter break right now.
Mhm.
They're not in school. And I thought, all right, awesome. I am going to spend the first 2 weeks of September looking for work as a full-time job, like having a full-time job looking for work. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna spend all day looking for work and then I'm gonna get a job. Because now I'm like, they're both in school full-time. I can pay for aftercare,
Mhm.
you know, but they're done because they're done with school at 2:30. That's like
It's-
mid-afternoon.
Society's failing us. It's so dumb.
It's the middle of the day.
It's so dumb.
It's like, okay, I get 6 hours while they're at school, which is like so much time when you're at home. But like if you leave, it's just gone.
But it's
time's
not
gone.
even like, I was thinking about that too. You have 6 hours, and in those 6 hours, I'm always like, I have a day off. I'll like send the kids to school and I'll take the day off from work and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do my returns. I'm going to clean up the house. I'm going to do whatever. And all of a sudden I look and it's been 4.5 hours.
I know.
And it just like goes so fast. But if I'm sitting at home alone with my kids in a living room, 6 hours feels like eternity.
It is, because it is eternity.
It is so insane.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And also, not only that, Kolina, like even if you're like, I'm going to spend 2 weeks and I'm going to like just hit the ground running with the job, your family has been set up in a way for the last 5 years that Doug leaves the home and goes to work and you are maintaining the household, which is a full-time job.
Yeah.
And so you're also still doing that. Yes, you don't have maybe child rearing in the same ways for those 6 hours, but like someone's doing the dishes, someone's taking out the dog, someone's, going to get the groceries. Like all of those things still have to happen. And then you're trying to like cram in the ability to like look for a job in a really shitty market.
A really bad market. I mean, and I have to give my husband credit because he does have such a flexible job. And so, and that's another reason why childcare, like putting the kids in childcare hasn't made sense because he can be home. So like he's been able to get home and I can work, when I do have work to do, like he's there with the kids so I can do it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, in those 6 hours that I'm home, it's like it feels like I'm hardly working, but I am. Like I am. Yeah. But anyway, I thought that I would be able to just like find a job right away. Well, it's January almost, and I have had just not a lot of luck. It's like I'm looking for a job in communications, and my resume is great.
DM me for a resume, ladies. She's chef's kiss.
My resume is great. And I've been it's wild to me.
But
I'm
it's not
almost
just
40.
you.
I know it's not. But here, like, if this is what it feels like. I'm almost 40. I've been writing professionally for 15 years. I have 2 degrees.
One in Italian.
Yes. Okay. Well, okay. So maybe it's not that practical.
A degree. C's
like,
get degrees.
That MA after my name just is for my Italian degree.
I always say to people, like, the point of getting a degree that you can do something with really only serves you for your first job, right? Like it's like at the end of the day, if you look at some of the most successful people, like your first question to them is not like, tell me, what did you major in undergrad? Like you don't care. You want to hear what their experience is. Exactly. And I think what's so frustrating to me about your experience is that you have so much of it. And like writing, you don't have to be sitting in like a corporate environment to continue to get writing exposure and writing experience. You have your newsletter, you have all these things, and you have so much life experience to bring to things. And I think that is like that's the cost of motherhood, which we talk about in this podcast too, which is so frustrating because it does impact women so much more than men, even if men stay home for a little bit. But again, it's not like you just haven't picked up a pen in the last 5 years.
Right. I've been working constantly. I've been writing constantly.
You don't have a Fortune 200 company on your resume, right? Like, but you have all these works and you're trying to go into writing. It's not like you're coming back into the corporate world or like the working world.
I'll get into accounting.
Yes. And they're like, ma'am, like that's not happening. But it's so frustrating. And I think like there's just so many ways, and I could go on the soapbox forever and I'm not going to, but our society is set up so poorly for working parents, but for women specifically, because our bodies need time to heal after having a baby. You have to step away, even if it's for 6 weeks, 12 weeks, which is asinine that is as long as people get for a break. But then like you said, if your kids are just in elementary school, they're done at 2:30 or they're not going to school till 10 a.m. What the hell are you going to do with them?
Not work.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And so it's like you have these 5 years off and just the world is moving so fast that missing 5 years is like wild. And people like can't like comprehend.
Mm-mm.
And then you look at like people, and tell me if I'm wrong, but like from our previous conversations, you could apply to an entry-level job and they're like, well, you're overqualified because you had all this experience. But you apply to a job with 15 years of experience, they're like, what have you been doing the last 5 years?
I mean, and I haven't even gotten that question because I haven't even gotten, I have gotten to the interview process and I'm like in an exciting moment right now, but we're not going to talk about that. But like, I haven't been asked that question because I haven't even been responded to. It's like the market is so bad.
It's so hard.
So demoralizing.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful for my really shitty experience querying literary agents because I got really used to rejection. And like now I'm so used to rejection. And it's like, It's okay. If I don't get a job, it's like, fine. I'm going to be fine.
We're going to manifest. You are going to get a job. It's going to be a job aligned with your passions, your values, and skills. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I am.
But even more so than that, we're going to get a fucking book published.
Yeah, we're going to get a book published. And that's another thing. It's like, I'm also really scared of having a full-time job because when am I going to write for myself? When am I going to do my newsletter? And when am I going to write my novels? It's like, I already struggle writing my novel. And so I am scared of it, you know, but
it's so hard.
I'll be able to do it. I will do it. I'm one of those people where it's like, the more I do, the more I'm able to do.
Totally. Same.
So
the busier I am, the more I get done.
Yeah. It's just like, you're just more efficient.
Yeah.
And you just carve out time, you know, like right now, my husband and I don't carve out any time for me to work on my novel because I'm home when the kids are
and it feels like you could do it whenever.
Yeah.
It feels like time's endless, but it's not. Okay, wait. I want to go into the newsletter.
Okay. I keep talking about it. Yeah.
I want to hear about it.
Okay.
What is the newsletter?
Okay. So I started a newsletter called The Underlined in 2 years ago. It just had its 2-year birthday. And it's about books and reading. And I obviously love to read.
Like, do you review books in it?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I write about books that I read. I write about reading. And if you're not a reader, it might sound so boring. But like, if you've ever been like, I like to read, or like, I want to read, but I like just don't have the time for it. It's like, okay, come to me, sister, because you've got the time. I know we're like, our time is stretched, but it's like, the more you do, the more you have time to do. It's just not a priority. That's what it is. It's like everything has to be a priority. If multiple things are a priority, then nothing is a priority. Yeah. It's like, anyway, that's
reading is probably similar to like your novel writing, where I think some people who aren't natural readers, because I'm a big reader as well, but like I'll read for 2 minutes waiting in line at Target to check out.
Yes.
You don't need to sit down for an hour with a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and a candle.
Nailed it. That's exactly what I say. People are like, I don't have time to read. I'm like, do you go to a doctor? Do you wait for the doctor for 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Bring a book.
Yeah.
Bring it. Have it on your phone. Do you commute in any way? Maybe not. But like, are you waiting? Like yesterday it snowed like a foot.
Yeah.
I took my kids sledding and then I made them hot chocolate. And then while they were sitting at the counter drinking their hot chocolate, I was like, this is my opportunity. And I like snuck around, sat on my couch, opened my book that I've been loving, finished it last night. Amazing. And I sat and I read, and it was only like 2 minutes until Frankie came. But you know what she did? She came, she picked up her own copy of The Babysitter's Club, and she sat right next to me, and we just read our novels together. And then like Enzo came, 2 minutes later, but it still was just this like cozy little reading love session.
Do your kids love reading?
Yeah. Well, Frankie loves to read. Enzo can't read.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. We'll get him there. I mean, same with my kids.
Just kidding. He's so smart. He's so smart. He'll be reading, but he's 5.
Yeah. Okay, but do you think Frankie innately loved reading, or
I wonder
because reading is hard. Like we're struggling with that with Lucy. I love to read. My whole family is readers. We used to sit in the living room and everyone would have their books and like we'd be silent and everyone would just be reading their books. Or on like car trips, we didn't watch movies, we read books. It was the 90s and whatnot. We didn't have iPads. And it's still that way. Like my sister, my mom, and I share Kindle and we just share books back and forth. And Lucy's really struggling to learn to read. And I have so much guilt about that. And she wants to be able to, but I don't remember it ever being hard for me to learn. And so like, do you feel like Frankie was innately good at it? And you do read so much to your kids. I've been over at your house when your kids are like, Mom, I'd like the play date to be over so we could read the book. And I'm like, I remember Enzo.
Really?
Yeah, it was so sweet.
It is sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do read to them. I don't feel like I read to them more than other parents.
Okay.
I don't think we don't spend hours reading by any means. I do think, I remember when Frankie realized the power of a good story though. And we were reading Harry Potter. It was book 1. Months and months ago, we were reading Harry Potter, or like a couple years ago, maybe. Okay. We're reading Harry Potter. And it was like when there was a reveal, and that's the terminology we would use as adults or like in the literary world. It was a reveal. It was a twist. She called it a trick. And she was like jacked about the fact that she got tricked by this author. And I just saw the lights go off in her head. She was like, she just thought it was so cool. And like when she realized something, she was like, oh, that's so cool. And I just saw it. I witnessed it and I watched it happen in front of me. And I was just like, it's happening. Like she's understanding. And I was reading the book to her. Yeah. I still read to her every night when I put her to bed. Even though she can read, and she does read all the time. And I think it's important to still read to your kids even when they can read.
Why?
Because it takes some of the stress off.
Mhm.
It teaches them new words. It teaches them cadence and pronunciation. And it's just enjoying something with them. Whereas like if I'm always making Frankie read, now she's so good, it wouldn't really be a problem. But I remember when she was first starting to read, she would get nervous and stressed. And I could tell that she
Frustrated.
was, yes.
That's what
So-
we're at.
So I just read. I mean, when she was struggling like that, I read to her mostly.
Okay.
Did I not tell you about my newsletter yet though?
Wait, let's circle back.
So it's on Substack, which is like a really cool community. There's so many readers there, but there are also like all sorts of communities on Substack. That's just where I host my newsletter, but it's
Okay.
also kind of a social media platform a little bit. So I've just like made all these book friends and it's so fun. It's like the book talk or bookstagram
Yeah.
world, but it's like very different. It just feels different because you're writing essays. And so every Thursday I publish an essay about a book specifically or reading goals or reading habits.
In your newsletter.
Mhm.
Okay, the word essay feels very scary to me, and it feels
Article. Oh, it's like
academic.
Yeah.
very, from like a lay person, right?
Yeah.
That like I love to read, but like I when I look at how little time I have in my life, the idea of like going to read what's the
Yeah.
word you use?
Essay.
An essay. I'm
It's
like
an
I
article.
don't have time.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the same way with a video. If you send me a video, I'm likely not going to watch it. Even if it's a 60-second reel, yes, I can watch that. But if it's like a 5-minute, I had to tell my mom and like my in-laws, like, listen,
Stop.
yeah, stop, like halt.
Send me the transcript.
Give me the
And I'll-
transcript
and I'll
and then I
read
can
it.
scan it.
Yeah.
But like, no, I'm just not like a video.
Visual person.
Yeah, because it's all been in my imagination.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
all these like that's my comfortable zone.
Yeah. Okay. So you're writing an essay that's super digestible and that working moms and busy moms can definitely.
Yes,
Do.
it's easy to read. It's not an essay. It is an article,
Okay.
and it's about it's just always about a good book, and it's like book recommendations, and like I have really specific reading taste, but it's also really broad. It's like I love literary things, but I also love like I just finished last night Joe Piazza's new book, Everyone is Lying to You, and it's about trad wives.
Oh.
It's a trad wife murder mystery.
Oh.
I read it in like 2 days.
Can I borrow
I
it?
could not. It's from the library, but yes, it's in my car.
Okay.
I'll give it to you now because it's going to be due back. It's going to
I'm
be
not gonna read it that fast.
Oh, well, you might. It
Okay.
was so good. It was just like
I'm like just
so
dying
propulsive.
for that book that you like open, you're reading and it's like 9:30 and you're like, okay, I'm gonna finish this chapter and go to bed. And then it like gets to the chapter and you like look and you're like, okay, this next chapter is only 12 pages.
Yep.
I can do it. And then all of a sudden it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
and you're like, I am going to want to die tomorrow, but this book is so good.
That's that book. I mean, for me, it was like just
Okay.
it was just so fun. So anyway, I have like I like holiday rom-coms and I like this murder mystery and I like literary fiction where it's like beautiful language and I like long books and I like short books. So anyway, I just really dig into books and I write the way I'm speaking,
Yeah.
except like better
conversational.
because it's conversational.
I mean,
but
I've read your manuscript. Is that what they're
my
called?
current one.
Your
Yes.
current one. And you do, I mean, it's like conversational and it's not formal. It just feels like very approachable and like it's very imaginative and
Yes. So that's my newsletter and that's on Substack called The Underlined.
okay. So my next question was going to be, and you started to answer this, but like, what are the last 2 or 3 best books you've
Oh, God.
read?
When someone asks me this, it's like it's literally my job to write a newsletter about books.
Yeah.
But when someone asks me it, I'm like, I don't know. I've never read a book. Like I can't think of a single book. Yeah. So Everyone is Lying to You by Joe Piazza. So fun. The trad wife murder mystery.
Love that.
So good. I'm working on a book called Wellness by Nathan Hill right now. It's like 660 pages. It's really well done, but I keep cheating on it with other books. Like this is
what is that one about?
I don't really even know. I'm like 300 pages in, and I really am not sure. It's about this couple that
It's
like
fiction.
met. Yes, they met in Chicago, and they're like married, and like
Okay.
and then like it's like an epic. I mean, it goes on for a long time, and it's like it's really really good. But he goes on so many tangents, and it's really long. And I keep cheating on the book with other books,
Okay.
and that's why I've been reading it for like a month. One of my one thing that I'm working on for my next article that goes out in my newsletter is about like a lot of people are doing, wraps, like 2025 reading wraps or like, Spotify wrapped, all the things.
Yeah.
So people are really reflective right now, which I am too. But I'm also kind of like, what's 2026 going to be like? And I'm going to start the year by rereading 2 books that I kind of want to be for me, annual rereads. Because they are so fundamental. They're so amazing. So one book is called Wintering by Catherine May. It's about, I forget like the long title, like something about rest and something during hardships. I don't know. Wintering by Catherine May. And it's not about winter. It's about like your own personal winters, like as hardships and how you need to rest and retreat during hardships. And she uses the analogy of a winter as a season. And it's just like, a really amazing story. It's a memoir-ish. It's actually not categorized as a memoir, I don't think, but it's amazing. And it's like, but it's also about winter because she uses the analogy. And it's like, winter is the time to like rest after our crazy summers. Yeah. Like go to bed early, sleep in late, be up with the sun, which is not very much in this Northern hemisphere. And like hygge, like the Danish, the word for cozy, it's so good. And it's just like also about like hard times are challenging, obviously, but it's like how to nourish yourself and how to get to the other side of them. And it's just like a beautiful book. And I've only read it once and I'm always like, I need to reread it. And I finally just found a used copy of it. So now I have it because I read it. I borrowed it from the library like a few years ago. I'm a big library gal. Yeah. I get a lot of books sent to me for free. Like weekly, I get one, but I use the library all the time. And then my other book is called 4,000 Weeks, Time Management for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman.
Is that a learning book?
It's so good.
No, but like, are you going to learn something?
Yes.
Okay.
It's 4,000 weeks. That's the average number of weeks that a human lives. Okay. That's how many weeks. I haven't done the math, but I think.
How many weeks do you think we've lived?
Oh, well.
We're in I'm 35, you're 40. So you're like probably 2,000-ish.
I'm at my midlife.
Yes. Okay. You're only going downhill from here.
I'm at midlife. 2,000 weeks. Yeah. So, and like what I said just recently, like if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. It's kind of like that. It's like, but this book is so good because it's like self-deprecating humor. And it's kind of like, basically the premise is like, once you realize that you can only do like the most minuscule amount of things that you want to do in your life, then it makes things easier for you because you cannot do this podcast and raise 3 kids and succeed at your job, but also like become prolific in Italian. And it's like, you can do all of these things, but you have to be really reasonable. You can do any of the things you want to do. You just can't do all of the things at the same time. Yeah. And it's so eye-opening, but like in a very funny, laid-back, easy way. It's like a super easy breezy read. And I recently purchased it. I read it a couple years ago, also a library copy, but I recently purchased it. And so I want to start the year with those two because like one is about taking advantage of like, they're kind of opposite. It's like one is taking advantage of like sleeping,
rest and restoring.
Yes. But the other one is like, don't have a lot of time. And like, it's just about prioritization, but like in a really gentle way, in a way that gives you a lot of permission. Because it's mostly like, once you realize you can't do everything, you just kind of like cut yourself some slack.
Totally.
Do what you
like
can
the permission, which we could all use as moms.
And yes. And it's also like when you're doing something. So I'm choosing to be here doing this podcast with you. So what I'm not doing is putting my kids down. Yeah. Everything you do is a choice. Everything, yes, you have is a no to something else. Yes. To everything else. Yeah. Not just something, everything else. So it's like.
Which is a scary thought, but it's an important thought.
It's an important thought because if you have aspirations to be a novelist, it's like it takes so much writing time to do it. It's like if I'm not constantly giving up things in order to do it, it's like it's just never going to happen. Yeah. But it sounds depressing, but it's not. It's like really empowering.
It's really empowering. Yeah. And I think there's so much pressure in today's society to feel like you should be doing everything. And I've struggled with that a lot of, to be the corporate badass, to be the mom that like makes homemade yogurt and granola and live in the giant house that looks like, a Hearth and Home magazine and all these things and go to the gym and be a Pilates queen and have, perfect hair, perfect body, all these things. And it's just like, I don't have the time to do it. And like you said, yes, like, could I fully dedicate myself to X? Yeah, but I'd be giving up Y. Exactly. And maybe I'm not ready to give up Y. And so like X isn't going to be as strong. And I think so the permission, especially for moms, actually both those books, when I think about them, is one, the permission for a mom to rest. Yeah. And just be like, rest is so necessary. And that's something I struggle with every day. because
too.
it feels like I took a nap with Bo today. He was taking his
Amazing.
afternoon nap and I was like, well, I'm just going to crawl in here. I'm going to read my book. And I was reading for like 2 or 3 pages and I was like, I'm just going to close my eyes. And I feel so good after I woke up. But then I also was waking up in my head thinking all the things I didn't get done today that I could have done in like 45 minutes. But I needed to rest. But at the same time, you have this long list of things you want to do. And you're like, well, they're not getting done because I didn't do them.
Yeah.
Because I like made the choice. I didn't prioritize them. So,
and that is why I have a hard time with social media. I think a little bit is great. It's really hard if you don't have boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm good at boundaries, but a lot of people aren't. And I see people scrolling and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Read a book. You're just like, read a book. It's what you need to do right now.
Well, yeah. But
my God.
I don't judge. I don't. I'm just not that person.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You got to stand in your truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We got to start wrapping this up.
Yeah.
Tell me, this is what I ask all my guests. When is a time that you felt like a total fraud?
I mean, all the time. I'm like telling my kids, my kids eat like one meal. It's pasta. They're really living into their names, Francesca and Enzo. They're like, you gave us these names. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, like a mother-fulfilling prophecy. All they eat is pasta. I'm like, well, you need to have a more balanced diet. But then they look over like, what am I eating? I'm eating pasta with them. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's kind of a fraud thing to do. And I feel like a fraud all the time. Like I just hit my newsletter. I just surpassed 4,000 subscribers last month or something. And
Cokes, that's amazing.
it's cool because I started this for myself. Like I started writing these.
Those are the best things.
Yeah, I did it for myself. Some people pay me. You don't have to pay me, but I make a little bit of money from it. Now publicists reach out to me. I get 2 to 3 emails a weekday from publicists asking if I want their books. I only accept a couple, like ones that I genuinely want to read and that I know that I can make time for. And like I still don't get to half of them, more than half of them. I feel like a fraud then. Like, the publicist from Penguin Random House is emailing me, asking me if I want this book for free. Like, yeah, that is fucking amazing.
Yes.
And I feel very fraud-like for that. But then also I'm like, wait a minute, but you're not a fraud. You read, you do it.
And you have 4,000 people wondering what they should read and telling them about reading.
Yes, exactly. They're like, yes, exactly. I'm like guiding them through it or like chit-chatting with them, like messaging them when I finish a book because, like they wanted to hear because they knew I was reading it because we were chatting about it. It's like, it's amazing. It's so great. And I'm really proud of that because like I did it. No one asked me to do it. I just did it.
Yeah.
And then now here I am 2 years later and it's still going strong and I'm still doing it. I love it. And it's a lot of work.
Awesome.
I'm afraid of it. Like when I do get my full-time job, I'm afraid of where it's going to go, but I'm not going to lose it. So yeah, I feel like a fraud then too. And like when I got my agent and when I sell my book, I mean, there are always
And when
times.
you're on the New York Times bestseller.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Especially then.
You're going to feel like a fraud, but I'm just going to be right next to you with a glass of champagne and we're just going to be living our best life.
It's like, I feel like a fraud, but then I think I'm good at recognizing that like, I think writing is weird because it's not any more work than anything else. It's just like lots of manpower, lots of hours, right? And so I have to I learned early on to recognize my work because you can't see it or feel it or hold it. It's an art form. Mm-hmm. It's like the only art, one of the only arts that you can't like see anywhere. Mm-hmm. And like you've got all these podcasts. So cool. You can like go listen to them.
Totally.
Like no one sees all of these years and years and years and years of novel writing I've been doing. It's like just all in my computer. Yeah. Nowhere. Yeah. So I've learned to like recognize that I am not a fraud. I'm actually doing the thing.
No, you are.
I'm doing the thing.
And I think that's a really interesting point about like it's these works that are unseen. And I actually think that's super relatable to parenting and just everything you do in general because when you like lay your head on your pillow at night and you're like replaying the day, you're thinking about all the ways that you screwed up, right? Like you're thinking about the vegetables your kids didn't eat. You're thinking about the fact that you served them pasta for the 3rd night in a row.
If that was a problem, I'm so beyond that. No. It's like at lunchtime, I get stressed that if I feed you pasta now, what am I going to feed you for dinner?
Okay, but like I'm just saying, I think like the whole gist of it is like, but there's so many things that we're doing for our kids, for our careers, for ourselves, like no one sees, and that's something I really struggle with. Is like, and it's like it's something I struggle with is like. I am extrinsically motivated and I don't love that about myself, but like you don't get to like look at me and be like, Saidee did X, Y, and Z.
No.
But like I'm doing so much for my kids, but then it's like I'm going on Instagram, which another reason I shouldn't be on social media, but going on Instagram and seeing these people that are like, we don't even have a TV in our house anymore. And I'm like, I could never survive. So I actually think that it's a good permission again. Like we were talking about of you get to be proud of everything that you're accomplishing and everything you're doing. And you actually are doing a really, really good job, even if everyone else doesn't get to see it. And that you have to remain motivated that way.
Yeah.
You have to.
I have to. Because I'm not on the hook for anything.
Yeah.
Like, literally no one. I could stop writing tomorrow and the only people.
You're on the hook for this book I want to read.
I know. Okay, that's so true.
Yeah.
But like aside from you and like maybe my agent would be like, hey, Kolina, what's up? And like my husband would be like, why are you depressed? You know?
Yeah.
But other than that, like no one's lives are going to change if I stop writing. Well, except for all of my 4,000 subscribers.
I know. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I get one's asking me to do it.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get
it. Had to be like self-congratulatory.
Yes.
and
I love that. I'll continue to congratulate you. Okay. Where can people find you and how can they subscribe to your newsletter?
Okay. So you can find my newsletter at kolinacicero.substack.com.
Okay. We'll link it in the show notes.
Okay. So here's something cool. My name is very Googleable. So Kolina Cicero. You just type in my name in Google, and like everything shows up.
Love it.
I also have Instagram. I know I'm saying that I don't really use it, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I post about books. Yeah, sometimes I do. I have seasons.
Yeah.
Right now is a wintering season for me.
We're snuggled. We're drinking red wine.
Exactly.
We're chilling.
Yeah. But find me. Yes. Connect with me. Chat with me about books. You want to talk about parenting books? Like, I got you. Like I wasn't I didn't read tons. I was the person who didn't read any birthing or parenting books before having a child because I was like, I didn't want to know. But my husband read Birth Partner. And it was a great book.
Oh, and he's a great partner to you.
Yeah.
We love Dougie.
So Kolina Cicero on everything because
it's
Instagram.
a very unique name that we love. And then your mom found a baby book while she was in labor in the hospital. It's a story that we are telling and sticking to.
For sure. And then also my maiden name, which we can talk about next time. About not taking your husband's last name.
Part two.
Part two.
We have to hear about the story of
the lock.
Italy and the lock and not taking your husband's last name. Yeah. Cokes, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun. Everyone, subscribe to her newsletter. Check her out on Instagram. She's awesome. She's amazing. She's too cool, but she actually does want to be your friend.
I'm not too cool. I just look too cool, but I'm not. I'm so not.
No, you're cooler than you think you are. All right. Thank you. Love you.
Love you. Thank you. Mwah.
Cut.